I do that, I just want to talk a little bit about what 2024 saw. So there's a couple, just not necessarily headlines, but stuff that we saw, we pulled from a report that we saw as for the 2024 trends. The double extortion. I don't know how much of you guys know about the United Healthcare scandal. It's still going on. But basically, they got hit in February of 2024. They instantly paid the $222 million to get the data back. But the hackers were like, wait a minute, there's so much stuff here. There's no way that we're going to give you all this data back. So what did they do? They went into the dark web and started selling it. So not only did United Healthcare pay the ransom, but now they're being extorted again because now other people are buying this sensitive data and trying to go and leverage it against it and trying to get more money from it. We saw malware-less attacks coming, sort of living off the land. Basically, what they're doing is it's not necessarily a virus. What they're doing is they're going to actual tools that are in this system and software, and they're utilizing them to go as attack vendors. And a major strategy on that would be an EDR solution. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a bit. Backup neutralization. Okay, that is basically saying, okay, when you have backups, they can't be attacked, they can't be infiltrated. And that's what we do is we talk about what we call the 3-2-1 backup rule, which is 3 copies of data on 2 different types of media and 1 copy that's offsite. So that's the difference with us on our solution is that you do have it offsite and you have 3 copies of data on there. And then again, what we saw was 80%, 81% of the attacks are happening outside of normal business hours between 1 and 5 o'clock in the morning. So these things are stuff because this is just different types of thoughts. You kind of take a look at what your situation is, and then you have these conversations with A&H as far as A&H when you're talking about your technology platform. All right. So let's move into the 2025 trends. And what I saw with the different types of trends, it was nothing really groundbreaking, but what I'm seeing is an enhancement on 3 different things. One is that digitalization era. Okay. Now that's where companies are relying on cloud strategies. The CISOs, CIOs are working on cloud strategies to go and implement for their day-to-day business. Okay. We're going to see by the end of 2026, a 95% of companies are going to be using the cloud to work for their workload strategies. And what you're going to see with that is that you're going to see software companies are going to come out there and going to be like, hey, we could take this data, we could digest it, and we could give it to you the best possible output on that. And so those conferences that you may have gone to and these big expo halls, it's going to be a whole different set of different companies on there because of machine learning as well as AI. From your perspective, and when I'm talking about the small, medium-sized businesses out there, you're going to see a separation between those who work with AI and machine learning versus those who don't. And kind of like if you remember in the 2010, 2012, somewhere around there was companies that would stick with their hard drives for backup, and then there was companies that would actually go and use cloud, right? And then all of a sudden everyone started to trust the cloud, and now they use the cloud. But again, this is going to happen